Eli,
Celestia.
Rastafari. This is just a gathering chant by I and I, the Gideon family. See? Goes like this. Holy Mount Zion, Zion, yeah. Holy Mount Zion, Zion, yeah. Who is the King of Kings? Haile Selassie. Who is the Lord of Lords? Haile Selassie. Coming from Buzrak with his garments in blood. Haile Selassie. Upon his vestment is the King of Kings. Haile Selassie. Zion, ye Rastaman. Zion, Zion, Zion. Zion, ye Congo man. Zion, Zion, Zion. Zion, ye Rastaman. Zion, Zion, Zion. Zion, ye Congo man. Zion, Zion, Zion. Blessed are they that hear. I'll Selassie the first. Yes, I'll now pass over the microphone to my beloved brother here, Ras Julio. Seeing, yeah man, seeing and Ras Ibi, more love in the house, more strength. I'll Selassie the first. One perfect love to all. Family, family. Aye.
Yes, give thanks, Iqulah Rastafari. Wow. Yeah, please, let me just have few seconds to say that, this is a vision that we had from a long time to bring forward Ras Iqulah, yeah, from Jamaica and then South Africa and then California, yeah. And this year, finally, yeah, is manifested. Yeah, so we give thanks really to the Almighty and to all those that helped through the process. Yeah, because moving from one country to another these days is not so easy, Yes, so you have a lot of papers and things to do, But through the powers of His Imperial Majesty and through the strength and the livication, yeah, of all those involved, mainly and especially Ras Iqulah, that put all the energy in this, we're here. So we're gonna have a little reasoning now, and then question, answer, they're very, very welcome. So let me just say that this is a very unique and maybe unprecedented occasion. Yeah, we're gonna listen to certain things that they never came out on book, on Google, or Facebook, or anywhere else. Yeah, but some certain things that you can only hear from those that have truly experienced in first person, yeah, with flesh, blood, and spirit, these things. Yes, pages of Rastafari history that you would not find out there. So that's why we're really, really pleased and excited to share these things with all of you. We're gonna have also Ras Ibi, which doesn't need introduction from me because he's always here, and he is a speaker at the House of Rastafari elder brethren, repatriated in Ethiopia now since 20 years, and is not by chance, not a casualty, that Ras Ibi and Ras Iqulah, they are very, very close, and they were very close from many, many years. They have lived numbers of experience together, yeah, in manifesting the mission through reggae music and Rastafari Livity to the four corners of the earth. So let I and I start. Welcome once again, and the hope and the pray is that all this energy, will stay in all of I and I, all of us, and inspire towards a better way of life. This edition is about the change. Rototom 22, yeah, we must change the world. Well, the concept here in Rastafari is that we cannot expect to change the world if first we don't change ourselves. So the first change happens inside. And then outside is a reflection of the revolution that you ignite inside of yourself. Yeah. So these memories and testimonies that we will hear today, they have that power, that capacity to activate that revolution inside of you, because we're gonna hear very, very interesting things. So without any more words from me, Iqulah Rastafari, welcome once again. The topic today is about Rasta going and living up in the hills, in the jungle. So could the I please give a little introduction about, you know, who the I is and how the whole journey started, yeah, before to decide to leave Babylon and say, I go up in the hills. Give thanks, Majesty.
Yili I Selassie the first, strength and redeemer. You know, let me first say, give thanks and praise to the House of Rastafari. See it? Yeah man, Ras Ibi, Ras Julio, and all the brethren who participate in the congregation. Give thanks to Rototom to set this platform that I and I can be here today. Because I tell you something, I remember in the days I and I couldn't surface. We could not come on the front line, no way. But listen now, within the tradition like Ras Julio just chant and say, the process starts with yourself. To make the change, you have to start with yourself. It's a simple thing. It's not complicated. The first thing you got to do with yourself, when you wake up in the mornings, you stretch out your hand and say, give thanks, Jah. Give thanks for life. Our life is divine. That is the blessing that I get from the Most High Jah, Haile Selassie the First. So, spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes out of your precious time. No care how busy you are. Just hold a meditation with oneself. Walk into your garden, and your garden is your life. Okay? 10 minutes out of your precious time, you know, and walk into your garden, which is your life, and try to identify all the bad weeds in your garden, all the negativity that lies within your garden, and weed them out. Weed out the negativity out of your life. Get rid of them. See it? And identify the good flowers that lies within your garden, and nurture them and care for them. It's a simple process. It's not complicated. You don't need no politician, no preacher man. This is about self-empowerment. Go in yourself, into your garden, and weed the bad weeds out. Identify the good plants, nurture and care. See? So that's where the process starts, you know. It starts with oneself, as the brethren just said. See? So I and I have been through great tribulation to come heal Rastafari. Each and every, it's not only black man go through the atrocity, you know. Because even when this brethren wants to Rastafari, maybe my parents, him don't tell me yet, maybe him parents say, what kind of thing is this? You can't grow along here? You know, maybe each and everyone go through them own little process. See? But for I and I know that has been through the Atlantic slave trade, you know, I and I the history. I want to tell you something, I can't go down in a little thing. I just write some notes just to make it exact and accurate. Accuracy is the order of the day, you know. So I can go down to the phone, you know, and find my notes. But we have so much things to discuss, but I want to make a little presentation. All right. First, I want to talk about an ancient elder called Bongo Stano, which the world never hear about Bongo Stano. This is a touchable experience with Rasta, where I come from way forward. Seeing? So, this presentation now is those that the Google did not see. Please remember, when I and I speak, I and I not speaking from Google research, nor book research. This is what my eyes behold. And from my personal relationship with Kadamawi Haile Selassie I, my first touchable connection with this Ivine walk, ancient Bongo Stano. This is an elder that, I tell you, Rasta, when I speak of Bongo Stano, man, tears come to my eyes, Rasta. I tell you. So this ancient now is an ancient now that used to go to school with my mom Bongo Stano was born in 1920 and my mom born 1921. When I was at the age of 5, my mom said to Iqulah, I have a very special friend that I'm going to take you to spend the day with. This is Bongo Stano, right? And so my mom said, this is a very special and unique person. I was at the age of 5 years young. My mother said, this man, they call him the Black Heart Man. She took I to see him. When I saw his face, I could see the joy of life in his eyes. The brethren was so receptive. He was so happy to see that a youth come to see him, because the Black Heart Man in Jamaica could not surface. The police would search for every man they call the Black Heart Man. And the Black Heart Man is the man that identify Haile Selassie as God Almighty. All right? So when I see the joy on his face, he had a calabash crown. He wear a calabash hat. And his attire was crocus bag. I don't know if they didn't know crocus bag attire. That's the burlap. Yes, burlap bag. See? Yeah, and he shouted, "Hail Rastafari!" I could see the love all over him. So my mom introduced I to him. He took his right hand and slapped the ground and said, "Groundation is the revelation." So we sat on the ground and we started talking. I asked him, "Why do people call you the Black Heart Man?" He laughed and said, "Kingston, we are the ones that has been through great tribulation. We were stolen from our mothers and fathers' land, Mama Africa, see, by a thief in the night, and this criminal is called colonial invader. Those invaders, along with some local junking perpetrators, they dismantled our empire, seeing that we have. So we were taken to the shores of the Western Hemisphere, the Americas, which includes the Caribbean islands. And I were beaten and were brutalized, seen on this plantation called Jamaica for over 400 years. He also said, Big Brother Marcus, that's Marcus Garvey. God bless Marcus Garvey's soul, because today I'm hurt there. Seeing Rastafari blessings. He said Big Brother Marcus was blazing small pockets of fire here and there with a burning torch and back to Africa. At that time, it was the UNIA was the leading voice for us as a people. His main utterances was about the God of Ethiopia, that he would come to our rescue. He said Big Brother Marcus was a very hard-working force that no one could stop him. So that's how the word sound of the God of Ethiopia was brought to us as a people. That the Lion of Judah would come and rescue I and I. It was a total underground movement from the north to the western part of the island Jamaica at that time. So that was the blowing of the first trumpet from north to west about the God of Ethiopia, Sila. So that's Bongo Stano, you know. Bongo Stano is a very patriotic, majestical lion. And he was the same one that take I man to see Haile Selassie, the first, 1966, when I was the age of 10. And he hold I over his shoulder, and he said, "Youth man, witness God Almighty today." And I tell you, Rasta, when I man think of Bongo Stano, man, and see the development that take place today, that I and I can come together. And this brethren was a brethren that speak about the unification, seeing, of people coming together, because His Majesty say, these are they that is called by my name, and I have an integral part to play within world peace. So when you see the Rastaman is not just here for talking about smoke some weed or do some other things. The Rastaman have a responsibility, seeing, to keep the fire burning. The burning of unity, collective unity, seeing, because it's the only way. His Majesty also say, unity is the only accepted goal. Rastafari. So that's Bongo Stano. Aye.
I give thanks, Iqulah. Give thanks, Elder. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let's look at the picture a little bit. So how old the I was when the I decided or felt, yeah, to leave your house. Yeah, you left your home, you left your family. Yeah, because going up to the hills, it doesn't mean that you go up there for an afternoon, you sit down, you relax, and then you come back home. When we talk about up to the hills, it means relocating. Yes, so for us living in a Western or modern or technological society, is a little bit difficult or unfamiliar to grasp what it really means going up to the hills. Yeah, it means something like really leave everything behind. Yeah, and going live amongst the trees. And so Ras Iqulah, how did the thing happen? Yeah, and when, more or less? Give thanks.
Yes, I give thanks. It's so happened that, because my mother was a musician also / school teacher. So she always tried to push her and I in schools. And every time my man go to an institution, and she would say, all right, you're going to go to the school. When I go into the school, the first day or the second year, no. Because I was keep talking about Ital living and Rastafari. Teacher said, no, we don't want this here. So they push her out of one school and put her into a next school. Went to the next school. After about 3 weeks, I'm in the school. Out again. They said I come to change the school, make all the youths becomes Rasta. See? So I had to leave Kingston City now and go forward to the country. When I go into the country now, my mom said, well, I'm not telling you to change, because your life is your life. So she then said to me, let me try. This school they call the Marcus Garvey Technical High School. So she took me to Marcus Garvey Technical High School. And when the principal said, well, he's Rasta, and this institution is Marcus Garvey Technical High School, so he can stay in school. So I give thanks again to Marcus Garvey this day, that Marcus Garvey Technical High School is the school that receive I. Yeah, see, so I grow on the teachings of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, right? And then now, when I was at school now and started to do my work, I was basically based myself up in agriculture. So I become the president of the 4-H club. So they sent I to a place they call Dembi for training in agriculture. Right, so that's where I get my training in agriculture. So when I was at Dembi now, that I was about 14 years old, I passed through Dembi, get my documentation in agriculture, and then I said, something, time to the hills. So I leave now and go into the hills. Yes, age of 14. Go up into the hills and decide, said, okay, well, my own survival tactics in the jungle. I know no one. And then now I went up into the mountains and I cut down 14 acres of land with machete, me and my brother, I stand, seeing? And we chop down the woodland, and we start to do now, set up a seed bank, seeing? Because I get the training. I set up the seed bank, and I start to find all the indigenous seeds in the communities and start now say, okay, I'm going to move from one point to the other point and bring all the seeds to the brethren them, So we start an agricultural revolution. So I had surplus amount of food in abundance when I in the hills, And then I started to pack bags of food now and take them to the road, right? See, and so we were very, very productive because our elders taught us that we have to be self-reliant and self-sufficient. So that's where now we squeak. When we say squeak, we work so hard in the jungle. Surplus amount of food. Then now I said I'm going to embark upon the next project. Because my family members, they were the ones that, there's a rice in Westmoreland, they call it the Seco 4 brown rice. See? And the Seco 4 brown rice, that was in my family tradition. So then I started to do rice farming. I started to farm the rice, and when they have groundation in those days, I would take rice to the different groundations and give the Rases the rice and start to hustle. Then now, Nyabinghi Profi was the bridge, that becomes a master salesman for the organic food that we were growing. Every time we come out of the mountains now, Profi would say, okay, come. See? And Profi had to run from his house, so the whole of I and I live in the hills. So Profi was the man that market our food for us all the time. When we come to the market, from Profi come to the market and stand up like this. The people see Profi, and everybody would come. Yeah, because Profi from a youth, he was well known in Notorious, as a jungle lion, So anyway, that's how the farming started, And I tell you something, man. It's the farming, even take I into the music, that we could sell some food and buy some instrument and start the mission. Ending up out here in Europe, linking up with Ras Ibi, and do the whole European leg in terms of the Scandinavia region. And the works just keep going. So that's the trad in terms of I'm and up in the mountains. And survival tactics in the mountain is that it's only spring water. See, I never used to use metal pot. See, we make our own pots from clay pot. Yeah? Make our clay pots, we call it yabayat. See? And that's how we survive. And something, dying beloved, I'm up in the mountains for over 15 years straight. All right? And I can tell you something. The mystic of the Rastaman. We light a fire. We light a fire, from the first year, and that fire never out. Is me I tell you, straight 15 years the fire keep burning because we keep feeding the fire. When rain comes, I cut the green trees and the green bush, and so the green firewood keep the fire burning. Yeah, so we have that fire keep burning, blazing continually. And I must give thanks to my elder called Bongo Eddie. See, Bongo Eddie now is a Nyabinghi man. That man is the fire key man. He taught us everything how to keep the fire key. So give thanks, Bongo Eddie. Yeah, man, may his soul rest in peace, man. See, Rastafari blessings, and that's a part of the hills trad with I. Blessed.
Give thanks. Ras Ibi, I want to come in with some thought or sharing or meditation about this. Yeah, I have been living in and out of Jamaica for about 18, 19 years. 15 years, 16 years, right. So I had the experience up in the hills same way. Maybe not living
not only there.
Not only there, but I was also in contact with once living up there.
Yes. And there's another dimension to this also. It's not just trotting up the physical hills. It's actually that spiritual experience of trotting up the heights within a one. That higher spirit within a one, the higher consciousness, that is because sometimes we just can't move for one reason or another. We cannot physically move to the hills, and yet still we need to find peace. We need to find the connection with the Creator. How will we do? It's not something we do on the outside necessarily. It's something we go inside, like we started the reasoning that this revelation, this revolution, it started within. Then as a manifestation of that faith, things start to grow. Yeah, they don't come by themselves, or they don't come first, and after that a faith come.
Yes, that's very, very, very important. In Rastafari, when we refer to the heights, the heights, the higher places, it's not only a physical place that you say you have to go up on a high mountain to be spiritually elevated. It's the heights, your hills, your mountains, your highlands is the higher dimension of your spiritual person. Yes, so that's why also the Psalms say, and I look unto the hills from where will come my help. Yeah, so my help come from the Lord God Almighty. And that's the first, because when I access that elevated part, that heightful part, I come near and come in touch with the divine person within I. Yeah, God the Almighty, the Creator, this divine energy of life live in I and I. Yeah, so that's where we meet this side of us. But going forward to the reasoning, so basically left home at 14, stayed 15 years up in the jungle. So the I was not alone. There were other brethren around. So the I remember anyone? I'm sure the I does.
Yes, I. It was you know, that's how when I in the mountains now, seeing, because now it was a very selective few, which now a brethren called Bill Jed, Claggy Jed, seeing, Links. It was about say 16 of I and I up in the mountains, yes, and some empresses amongst I and I, seeing, and I tell you something, master. Within the said vibes, I and I used to play lot of football. So we form a team called Wadada, a dreadlock football team, seeing, because all of us used to play within the League of Jamaica, you know, seeing. I and I team at that time, Box All Stars. We were the winner of the Jamaica Under 19 football club. And then now, Wadada now, it's brethren now, hand-picked brethren from right around the islands now. We come together, live in the mountains. So we farm and we play a lot of football. Seeing? Yes, lot of football. And I tell you something, the team was a champion team in Jamaica. Seeing? Because people say, oh, them man don't eat meat, and them man just don't this and don't drink sugar, and them man is ital. I will show them that itality is the highest. And I can remember, 1979, when Bob Marley come in to do the reggae Sunsplash, the first thing him say, give thanks and praises for the word that I am them over there, and they are preparing food for I. And Bob come to I and I cook and feed him, see, and him dead with I and I because a footballer, Him and Alan Skillcole. See, I see him son last night. He's the engineer for Junagang. David. Yeah, Skillcole son, Yes, Rastafari. Yeah, man. So give thanks to see David last night, Yes, so it's a blessing and a power, Yeah, man. So that was a vibes. It was a 16 of I and I with some sistrings among I and we just have a nice, sustainable project and a program where we could have feed ourselves. We work together. All of us could have knit. We make bags, we make crowns, we make everything. Seeing, make our own clothes, everything. Seeing, so it's the child of the Rasta man. Blessed. And then I can touch a little piece from Bongo Jimmy also. Seeing?
Yes. So let's look for 1 second to the daily life. Yeah? How we cook, how we sleep, how we wash, what happens if we catch a cold. Yeah, how is living up in the hills? Yeah,
I tell you something, the perfect balance, you know that. Well, the item supposed to know so well. The purpose of protein and iron, seeing, is to build back all worn out tissues. Protein got to be broken down to amino acids to be digested. So when I and I go to the primary stages, seeing, that means that we eliminate secondary product. We don't have to kill the cow. See, to get our protein. We go to what the cow eat, which is amino acids. See, so I and I eat the vegetables of the land. See, so we make a lot of green juices and we make all kind of things in our matter. Them time we have nothing for plug in but blender and juice extractor. We use a piece of wood and dig it out, see, and beat up I and I vegetables night, see, and get all the chlorophyll for the temple. So I and I had, when you talk about sickness, none of I call none of I within them time they have no form of fresh cold or belly ache or sickness. It's just ital, straight. See, we grate the coconut, see, now we recycle. We grate the coconut, we take the coconut trash, we store the coconut trash, then we squeeze them out, set them up, get out the milk, we boil oil, and take the part of the trash and use that now in the spring and shine up with goodie. Wash yourself in it. And then we have the Aki. We use the Aki pad, see? And I run an experiment because before the Aki is open, there is an acid they call the glycolic acid within the Aki. When people say Aki poison them, is because they force the Aki and take out the inside, and the glycolic acid chop up them liver. See? So we discover now that the Aki, this kind of acid, we can utilize it in the farming. So we get the young Aki, beat it up, put put some spring water and soak it for 3 days, strain them off in our crocus bag, and use that same juice now from the ackee and sprinkle on the vegetables to keep away all the insect, no bugs, nothing at all. You understand? yeah, keep away all about it, it's our natural insecticide. Yeah, so the ackee was a very important thing for I and I in the jungle. So we used to have nice vegetables. Yeah, and a lot of things we utilize. We have the chicken weed also. See? Yeah, we have the basida tree. We have the nectar from the basida. See? We use that as to strengthen I and I. When we boil the roots, we boil the roots, we chain the root, sarsaparilla, strongback, blood whisk. See? And that keep I and I temple nice. No illness, no sickness, right through and through. We never, because remember, you know, when I and I Rasta, we can't talk about going to doctor, you know. You have to be your own doctor. So our food becomes our medicine. And I medicine is I food. So that's how I survive. So it's a survival tactic. So the Rastaman was way advanced. Because in Jamaica at that time, when you talk about ital food, people say, what are you talking about ital food? We don't cook food with salt, we're almost dead. You know what I say? Yeah, the people are so backward, you know. So I show them now, and I can see now that the system take vitality and them call it vegan now. See, and it's all over the world. Where you go now, people them now remember say, this thing come from the Rastaman. The Rastaman say, listen, we do not kill to eat, because it's very important, you know, about the temple, you know. If you take a boat right now, a boat, and you row that boat out into the ocean, and you have a glass, see, with some blood, and you drip a little bit of blood in the ocean, you know what you're going to attract? Sharks. You're going to attract sharks. It's the same thing with the human temple. When you consume blood within the temple, you attract sharks, and the sharks is not sea shark, it's land shark, and the land sharks are negative energy. So you have to keep the temple holy and blessed. See, so that is what I and I do in the mountains. We did not spill blood to sustain life. We go to the primary stage, which is the vegetation. And look at I and I today. I and I no sick Rasta. You know, yeah, man, I and I no sick man. So the Hills Livity prepare I and I. So Rasta was on a high path from them time there. And now the system take everything. When I and I speak about I and I, when I and I speak about the I, or the I, or the I, people say, what are you talking about? See? I remember, you know, Rastaman ordered some ice cement one day, a sweet them called ice cement, and the police here when they talk about I and beat him, you know. Beat him for talk about I, you know. See, I see, and now I see the system of Babylon gone. iPhone, iTunes, iDis, iMac, iDis. So it's I and I thing. So the Rastaman was so much advanced ahead of the system when we talk about, you know, setting our fully sustainable project in terms of things biodegradable. When we make a house, we just do a house. See, now we recycle what we do. We use the coconut tree, which is the coconut tree we call the dreadnought. And the dreadnought is something that is very special. The one tree, we get to water, we get to milk, we get to house, we get to brush, we get everything from a dreadnought. So we salute the dreadnought tree. There, you know, see, and then now in Jamaica, see, because of this ancient man now they call, this Rastaman, we call him Bongo Stano. I make a little writing here, I'm going to read about this man now. All right. This man in Jamaica, they call him the Great Bongo Jimmy. Okay? Otherwise called Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs was a very special Rastaman. He was so advanced that the system of Jamaica and the world did not see. I'm going to tell you a little about this man now. This man now. The Great Bongo Jimmy, otherwise called Mr. Biggs, also from the Garden Parish of Higginsland, St. Ann, Jamaica. He was the Rastaman that changes the face of poverty in the hills of St. Ann. He changes the face of poverty. Seeing? Because of the atrocities that the people go through, people are poor people. And this one Rastaman was so advanced that he changes poverty. He promotes agriculture to the highest level. Seeing? the system of Jamaica, they had a radio program and they speak about this man. They have never seen him, but they speak about him on the radio program. They call him the great ganja man from St. and Mr. Biggs. So Bongo Jimmy now, when he changes the face of poverty in the hills of St. Ann, he established economic stability. The real pioneer ganja farmer. In the 60s, all the Rastafarian communities were very stable. Farming was the order of the day. Self-reliance was the thing. Our father Haile Selassie I said, farming is a sacred duty. Sila. From the 50s to the 1970s, Rastafari communities were very strong, even when we were always attacked by the system. And I had stability because we could feed ourselves. We were not short of anything. All I wanted was repatriation. That's what the Rastaman was talking about, repatriation, go forward to Africa. But the fighting continues from the oppressive system of Babylon, which is the church and the state. I see humble Rasta youths and children go through lots of atrocities, were rejected from school, the school system, and I could not move forward. We were not welcomed by those and them. And I had to flee to the hills, the Wisi jungle, to gather I strength and survival tactics to stay alive, hailing Rastafari as the only authority, Kadamawi Haile Selassie I, Sila, Rastafari. So that's the part about Bongo Jimmy, the man who established stability. And you know, in this area in St. Ann, Jamaica, for 5 years straight, when they did a feasibility study about the stablest communities in Jamaica, it was this region that Bongo Jimmy was. They had to send people from Singapore to come and study how Jamaica is known as a third, as a third world country, have a first world status. Because what Bongo Jimmy did, he taught everyone how to farm and grow marijuana and live by the product, okay, and make money and build their houses and establish. I know the CIA hear about it, and the CIA came into Jamaica, okay, right. Singapore sent people come study to say how this place is so stable, and they realized that it was the great Bongo Jimmy in the hills of St. Ann changed the face of poverty. So when the CIA came in now, they come in now, and with the politicians in Jamaica now, what they did now, they fly spray planes and they spray chemicals and destroy the marijuana plantation and destroy the coconut trees, the soursop trees, and everything, because when they spray, they damage the water table. I tell you something, Bridget. And you know what I see they do? They take this thing right now and they take it to USA. We're in California now, everybody can grow marijuana. How many states in America now people is growing marijuana and all this thing? But Jamaica was the blueprint. Bongo Jimmy was the man, Rastafari.
Yes, I.
And what they used to spread, what American government come to spray in Jamaica is something that was forbidden for a very long time. It's the same thing that American government used in Vietnam. Yeah, to de-leaf all the leaves to find out, you realize, called Agent Orange. Yeah, it was wicked, wicked thing. It's not plant just dead from that, you know. A lot of human beings, a lot of brethren and sisters, we can testify, we know them, and them dead from this. Yeah? So when we chant down Babylon, yeah, we have something there, you know.
Truly, 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 truly. Yes, I give thanks. So it's very important to highlight the fact that in many spiritual traditions, going up on a mountain, in a cave, is a sign of retreat, in which you basically detach yourself from working, from the mundane life, yeah, and you only maybe meditate, or you dedicate yourself to, you know, a spiritual practice, yeah, prayers, meditate, or yoga, according to the different traditions. So what we see in here is that you go up on the hills, yes, you detach from society, but you keep working. In fact, you work even more. So that is the beautiful thing that is important to notice, you know, that for the Rastaman, going up on the hills is not just doing nothing, yeah, or only concentrate on your inner self. Because the kingdom of Zion is something that you build outside as a reflection of your inner Zion. So is this balance between material and spiritual, which is very, very important and came out from this beautiful testimony, yeah? So we don't have to think about, all right, we leave the city and we go up there, sit on a stone, you know, I just think and meditate and, you know, I make myself great inside. No, this is brethren, sisters that have been working for years in order to create an economy, sustainability, yes, to look after each other. Yeah, so this is the next point I wish to touch a little bit, and before we close down, looking after each other. When you live in a community, how is the vibe? Because you live there. So we know from Profile, for example, from other testimonies, you know, when you cannot water your vegetables, you know, next brother will do it for you and things like that. So how was that in terms of common living? Yeah, in terms of community living, were you helping each other? Were you were, yeah?
That is the collective effort about I and I as races working together in collective unity. And I tell you something, I used to come leave Westmoreland when I have the rice farm, and I bring rice to St. Anne. So the barter system. So we give Profile. There was an Ital bridging also called Ayani, and you know IG too. IG used to be, we used to call him the Isle Man. Greater Dreadnought and make oil. Profile used to do the same thing. So when I and I come with rice, we could collect oil, interchange, and strengthen each other. The community was in one harmony. We never have no division like how people divide themselves today about this and this and that and that and that. When I and I say Rastafari, seeing I and I say up and I heavens is Bobo Shanti, seeing out of I and I come at 12 tribe, seeing I and I is of the Orthodox faith, and I live and chant Nyabinghi. So there is no difference. It's one plant. Rastafari is oneness. See, because I remember, you know, in the ancient days, you know, when you see the original Rastaman, you know, see, no matter from which mansion, you know, him call him Congo Shanti. See, so that's why we always say, up on I and I head is Bobo Shanti, out of I and I come at 12 tribes. See, I and I is of the Orthodox faith, and I and I live and chant Nyabinghi. So in my father's house, there is no division. It's oneness. Rastafari live. Blessed I.
Yes, I give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. So Ras, what about the spirituality? Yeah, we talk a lot about, you know, material and spiritual going together, but living up there is no noise, no cars, yeah, and waking up early, you know, the birds singing, you know. How was that on an iretical, spiritual level? Yeah?
The frequency in the mountains is just the greatest thing, Rasta. I tell you something, when you can live and tune your mind and your heart and your irids into the laws of Mama Nature, you listen to the birds and you listen to the bees. I tell you something, beloved. You know, I and I is beekeeper, you know. See, so I and I in the jungle, you know, see it, work with the bees, because you know, like we capture the bees, you know. I and I deal wild honey. The bees are up there, and we work with the bees then, because people who partake of honey, seeing we could have get some honey and carry gallons of honey and give them, seeing, because I and I never sip honey. You know them I were there. No, we don't sip honey them time they don't see it. We just straight. Seeing nothing from animals or nothing. Seeing? Yeah, it was italirate. So but we used to collect the honey from the trees and call it wild honey, and we bring it to some other brethren who partake of that. And they would give I and I maybe a couple ball of wool, and I go up and knit, you know. So the community was very strong, beloved. Strength, man. See it? Rastafari.
So I think it's time to go to question and answers. So it's your time. Don't be shy, yeah. And come in with any question. I'm sure there is somebody there sitting. Brother George, give thanks. Yes, come forward, please. We have 2 mics, so.
Give thanks, yes,
Blessed love. Ras Iqulah.
Yes, Lion.
First question is, where did I get the I name from? Who called the I name Iqulah first time?
Yes, I have been gay. You know, say, it's a vibe, you know. When I seeing, like, everyone used to call like them time, they, you know, seeing fire tea or jati, seeing, in the early part, you know, cause, but when I elders, I observe how I live, because I used to have a clay pot. This is how I get the name. I used to have like a clay pot. And when I cook food for the ancient them, the elders them that around I, like Bongo Stano, Bongo Webster, see, and Bongo George, and then bridging, you know, I used to cook one small pot, a clear pot of ital. And the small ital pot share for the congregation. So, one day a bridging named Firelings said to I, say, Iqulah, how you cook this a small pot of food and it feed everybody? So I said, Bridging, you know something? I steam it, Rasta. The fire not touch the pot because the clay pot is a very special, you have to know how to deal with the clay pot, you know. I steam it, you know. But when you put a small portion of rice, see, and peas in the clay pot, you just have to just light it up, put the firewood, and then you pull away the firewood, and the clay pot carry himself and just steam. So the clay pot just stay there, and when the food steam, the food swell like so. Yes, the food swell up, I make food in abundance. So Firelings now say, everything this brethren do it different from everyone else. See, when I cut out the field them, and I deal the rice, see, and I grow, because what I used to do, you know, the earthworm, which them are doing in California right now, people have a worm casting, the worm casting. A long time I man do that, you know. Yeah, I man used to gather the earthworm them from a long time, you know, and make the worm pit. See? Yeah, and set up and have the worm casting in the farming. I used to do the farming on high scale. See? Certain herbs, you know, I put within the mixture, you compose, and I also do teas from them time there. Yeah, so I have the science within the thing. So yes, I. So that's how now Firelings now said, you know, so the lion is so peculiar. You know, this bridging are not easy, you know, so the man them start calling Iqulah. See? So Ella Bongo, you know, say, yes, this is the Iqulah lion. Yeah. See? Even big youth, you know, big youth, Iqulah lion him call like from them time then. So I come up now with the right spellings and them say Iqulah, Iqulah. See? And I said when it's abbreviated, the I is for integrity, the Q is for quality, the U for unity, the L for love, the A for Africa, and H is home. So Rastafari blessings, that's how the name come here. Blessed love.
Blessed.
Blessed. Yes,
Ras Iqulah, I was talking about the black art man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe many of the eyes them here don't know with what function the black art man did have in Jamaican society.
True.
Because it have a function to frighten children.
True. Yeah, man. So that's why I was scared when my mom tell me that this man they call him the black art man, because the sound of the black art man is that when you see the black art man, you should run from the black art man, because the system try to paint the black art man like the black art man was a monster. So children, what happened in those days now, most of the Rasta them time, you know, they make a thing them call bust me jar. You hear about bust me jar? It's a coconut sweetie. Yeah, I know it, yeah? Yeah. And the sweet, you know, a lot of Rasta brands, like Bongo Stano used to make a lot of bust me jar. And when I pass, he would call I as youth and say, come youth, come, have, you know, coconut sweetie, which we can call buster. So that's how now the system now try to tarnish and paint the black art man like the black art man was a monster. So whenever you see these people, shoot first and ask question after. Rastafari, blessed I.
Blessed. Ras Iqulah, I just highlighted too that the eyes them were reaping honey or using the bees, working with the bees, but I wouldn't use the honey for the eye themselves. I mean, this is something I just recently hear from the vegan movement, you know.
See.
So I just wanted to really put an effort in my meditation to say that the item had this from way back in time.
Yes, sir.
So even to say that honey is something that comes from an animal is not
yes,
where the item you.
Yes, I.
Thanks,
Because,
Rastafari.
yes, I. Because the thing about it, you know, how that coming on is that I and I decide that we're not going to rob nothing. See? We try to work with everything. We set the atmosphere and the creation that the bees could have him atmosphere for doing thing, because we grow the plants and him take the nectar and make him food. And for him food is his food. It's not for I food. Yeah, you see vibes? Yeah, Rastafari. So I and I was very advanced. I had the game. I last the first. Blessed.
Any other question?
Yeah, seeing as it's the 17th of August today, and it's officially the 135th Earth Day, or what we call birthday, of Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, I would like the eye to give some reflection on where things are now with Garvey and Garvey's performance.
Yes, I. Well, you know, Bongo Jimmy, you don't know, say, you know, Garvey was a fundamental man in the man that point I and I to the continent, you know, because Marcus Garvey cry was that, you know, because Jano, Marcus Garvey was so advanced in them time there, you know, that him say, boy, the tribulation where I and I go through, man, seeing, and that's how the Rastafari movement even come. Brother Leonard Howell, the pan the same Africa move, seeing, but Garvey was such a pioneer that spearheaded the movement and said, boy, we have to forward to Africa. But the Garveyites live until today, you know. Yeah, the Garveyites live in, because it's strong in America right now too, as they I know, you know, and all over, you know. See? But I and I just a branch from that same way, holding the fundamental principle.
If there is. Yes, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I.
Me wanted to know if when you were living in the in the hills, a roots life.
Yes, I.
Was music part of the day? Like, did you have instruments? You were chanting?
My brother, 24/7. As I and I finish working at the days, all I and I would get on the kettle, the Nyabinghi, and chant, because we have to chant on Babylon, because them time, you know, the amount of things that we have been through the system, we couldn't, right now, brethren, let me tell you something. You see, when I see this war going right now, I can say this is victory. Victory. And I give thanks to my brothers here, you know, that them come even have this platform here, you know, that I can even speak of the Livity, you know. So brethren, we used to chant 24/7. As a man finish working in a farm in the pan jump and I burn Babylon, because we have chant on Babylon. See? Yeah, I and I did even make a special chant, you know, where one next chant now where I and I in the center hill now we say, who did tell the boy fi government chance St. and highlights? Who did tell the boy fi go trouble St. and highlights? Babylon in trouble, holy pa trouble. So we say, St. and his youth them rise again fi go chant down dirty Babylon. King Rastafari, Pitney, yes, them rise again. Figure strengthen Ethiopia. Said the Jews get their pay, and the Japs get their pay, and the Africans, we get no pay. So we must unite, and we must centralize, and give eyes to Rastafari. 'Cause Babylon in trouble, holy pa trouble. Babylon, I want to hear that them sing this now. Holy pa trouble, see? Babylon in trouble, holy pa trouble. Babylon in trouble now, holy pa trouble. Babylon in trouble,
Holy trouble. Haile Selassie the first.
Well, like a question. Talking about the youths,
Yes, sir.
going, living,
Yes, sir.
changing life.
Yes, sir.
Are there projects for European youths to see Jamaica and live that life?
Yes, I want to tell you something, you know. See all them bridge, you know? All them man, you know, the manifestation, you know, of what's happening here right now, the Livity, you know, the Livity, you know, we pass racial barrier, we pass all barriers and boundaries, you know. This is about unification of the collective, you know. See? This mission, man, the Rastaman vibration is positive, man. That Bob Marley keeps saying, you know, the Rastaman vibration is positive, and him tell the world that already, you know. But him say, it's not the end, it's just the beginning. Him say, you think it's the end? It's just the beginning. So that's what we are doing right now, coming together to show people that it's true. See, the platform of Haile Selassie the First, why this can happen. We all come together and work as a people for the betterment of planet Earth. Because this man a farmer too. This man a farmer. I don't know much more bridge in every Rastaman. See? Every Rastaman is a farmer. And if we all come together, get a piece of land, we can make and show the people say, yes, we can do a serious sustainable project. Because we do it already. Rastafari, blessed I.
Make me answer the bridging, yeah, make me answer the bridging, because, you know, there is a project already. It's called the Rastafari Ancients Farm. It's up on the hill around Montego Bay, okay? It's a project that Ras Rastafari, with the help of I and also the House of Rastafari, we put together this project, okay? It's basically a Rastafari farm where we do organic farming, okay? And mainly elders, Rastafari elders running the farm. So there is a possibility, if you buy your ticket and you go up there, you can spend your time with the elders, helping, farming the land, weeding out the place, cleaning up, harvesting. And the fruits and the vegetables that get harvested, they're not for sale, but they get shared amongst the Rastafari elders in need. Yeah, so you can go on Facebook and check Rastafari Ancient Farm, and you can send a message, and you can go up there. Yeah, you can go up there and spend your time, and it's gonna be airy for sure. You give a help because the elders are advanced in the age, and in exchange you get a lot of richness, spiritual richness. Yes, and bring seeds, yes. Always welcome. Yes, sir. Eh? Okay. We are
Just in very short words, Ras Iqulah, what I would give I as Rastafari here in Europe as a vision, what I can do to progress more in the future for the ancients in Jamaica as well as in Ethiopia, and for Ethiopia itself too.
It's a very nice question, that. You know, as Iman Bridging always say, repatriation will not be facilitated by no world government. It is the responsibility of I, the collective, you know. So, beloved, like how the eye of the link, make all I come together, see? And we can also utilize the musical platform also, you know, to run a series of ongoing concerts, to raise funds, see? As long as everything is accountable for, because we need transparency in everything that we're doing. We can also, because that's what Julio and myself and Ras Ibi is planning now to do, a tour for next 2023 to generate capital that we can put investment into the farm, whether it's Jamaica, Ethiopia, California, wherever, Europe. We're going to work together as a family. This is the purpose of the meeting. Haile Selassie the First. Give thanks for life. Blessed.
Yes, give thanks, family. Blessed love. So we're closing. We're sealing up the reasoning of today. We're gonna be here the entire week. So, and Ras Iqulah is here, same way. So if anybody want to reason or ask something else, Ras Iqulah is here in the House of Rastafari, and he will be here until the final day. And in fact, on the 22nd, he will perform on Lion Stage. So that will be the fullness, the sealing up of it. Yes, and. Please remember that here we have the exhibition about Words on the Power Collective. It's a non-profit organization which has the objective of helping Rastafari elders in need. So you can find here the basic information. You can read, you can see the faces of the brethren we help and the sisters we help, and you can get instructions on how to help and how to donate. There is also a QR code, so we are very technological. Yeah, so you just scan it with your mobile and you can send a €5, €10, 2 millions, it's up to you. Yeah, so we give thanks for your presence, and I'll see you tomorrow, and I will be here chanting Nyabinghi and reasoning more about Rastafari Livity. The topic tomorrow is 130 years of the King of Kings, the 130th anniversary of Haile Selassie I birth, between history and prophecies. So very crucial word, sound and power tomorrow. Very crucial talk. Yes, I'm gonna be here 4:30. So take your time right now, enjoy the festival. Yeah, let all this vibration grow and bubble inside, and we'll see you tomorrow. More love, more blessings. Selassie the First.